Welcome to Fever Film Room. I'm Chris Denari sitting in for Pat Boylan with 24 Forever Tamika Catchings. And that's very important because on this special day, it's also your birthday. Always 24,
Always
right?
24. I turned 24 again, yet another year.
Well, that's great. Well, we're here to talk about the Indiana Fever this week. They've been on the road, 3 games on the road, a 1-2 record, a couple of losses, but let's highlight the win, a very impressive win against a good Phoenix team.
Yeah, and definitely something that we needed. You know, I mean, one of the things we talk about every single year is going on the road and being able to almost steal a game because you're expected to win at home, and especially this year, we've been struggling a little bit on the road, so that was a big win for us.
Yeah, the Fever struggled early on the road, then have picked off a couple of wins. Mm-hmm. Phoenix did not have Brittany Griner. We know that Griner, the All-Star, the leading scorer in the WNBA, has presented all kinds of problems for the Fever this year. But I thought in watching that game, just their mindset was much better. Yeah,
definitely more aggressive. And, you know, they played together. And when you look at the games that we've won, we've moved the ball, we passed it, we, you know, found the open players, made the extra pass. And I feel like in the game that we struggle, a lot of it is taking outside shots. We're missing an outside shot, get the ball inside. You saw Jennifer actually came in and, you know, she was able to produce. Candace, of course, she always does her thing. But getting the ball down low, being able to attack the basket.
One thing I've noticed watching the games and looking at the box scores of late, Pokey Chapman's made a little bit of a change as far as the starting lineup. Natalie Achanwa now in the starting lineup. Erlena Larkins is coming off the bench. For a veteran like Erlena, what does she have to do to accept that role in coming off the bench?
You do whatever it takes for your team. And, you know, in her situation, really being able to come and do what Natalie was doing off the bench, bring that spark. And we know the way E can play. We know Lark, when she gets in there, she's a hustle player. She does all the dirty work, and that's the thing that she has to continue to do.
It's been one of those kind of years. The Fever are 8-13, 13 games remaining, right now out of the playoff picture. But Tamika, when you look at, as we approach the All-Star break, from 5 to 10, it's only separated by a game. So you go on a little bit of a winning streak after the All-Star break, you're back in the playoff picture.
That's the focus right now. Have a couple days to break, All-Star game, everybody goes and does their thing. But when we come back, we need to refocus and reshift our energy. Not necessarily looking at the playoff, but how do we get better for each game individually? Don't look at the big picture. Let's shorten the gap a little bit, every single game, every single practice, make it a good one, and let's get better as a team.
All right, you talked about the All-Star break. You were a many-time All-Star in the WNBA. The All-Star game does not happen every year. Think about it. There are the Olympics, there are the World Championships. So this is a year where the All-Star game, represented by Candace Dupree, she's a player that has been now with her 3rd team in the All-Star game in Chicago, in Phoenix, and Indiana. A great location, Key Arena in Seattle. What can Candace and the Fever fans expect this weekend in the All-Star game?
Have fun. I mean, that was the thing that I always enjoyed the most about All-Star break, was playing with players that I probably would have never gotten the opportunity to play with other than the World Championship and the Olympic team. But just going out there, it is a different change of pace. I mean, you go out there and it's not necessarily about winning and losing, even though y'all know I'm a competitor. So I'm sure Candace is the same way. She's going to go out and want to compete. But really just being able to have fun.
Yeah, looking at the All-Star rosters, East and West, there are a lot of first-timers, aren't there?
That's awesome, and I think that's good for the game. You know, just being able to develop our younger players. A lot of players have stepped up. I'm really excited to see Lasia on the team, and, you know, we've gone back and forth through text messages, just letting her know how proud I am of her. But, you know, it's good to see players that have worked on their game and now have the opportunity to shine as an All-Star.
So the Fever had a 3-game road trip prior to the All-Star break. They've got one more road game after the All-Star break in Dallas before coming back home here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. TV also upcoming. Pat Boylan will be in the chair with Tamika on MyIndy TV 23. You get past that Dallas game, then you have a significant stretch of home games.
And that's what we need, you know, and I think, I mean, going back to the question you just asked, how do you, for us looking at the playoff picture, but for them looking at individual games, well, you have one more game on the road. Hopefully they can get a win there. Now they're, 2-2 on the road. Come back here and have that stretch of games at home and really just taking time to regroup and figure out, okay, every single game, every single practice we have, what do we need to do to win the next game, and not focus on down the road.
What'll also be very important, since you play everybody really a like-minded, like number of times, a 3-game series, the third game, especially with a team like Dallas, all of these games are important because tiebreakers will be important come playoff time.
Well, definitely, and you want to have home court advantage. And I just remember Coach always stressing the importance of winning the games. And now, like you said, with the balanced schedule, having that third game, winning 2 out of 3, that's big when you look at playoffs, look at home court advantage, look at, being able to play in front of your home crowd. And then the way the playoff format is this year, from last year to this year, it's a lot different. And so putting yourself in a position to be successful.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of Fever Film Room. Pat Boylan will be back next week. For Tamika Catchings, I'm Chris Denari, and let's say, go Fever.